VR mode. Center view. Move forward. Parking brake.
Adjusting parking brake.
Good morning. I'm in Inverness, and I like how these guys, when they walk, they almost do like a moonwalk. It's kind of bizarre. When they're walking, they're kind of like moonwalking. It's pretty crazy. We're in the UK, and we are basically, I'm gonna try to start heading south and to get into the southern UK. So we'll go ahead and see how everything's looking. Yeah, looking pretty good actually. So yeah, I'm kind of taking the harder path here. I'm running an HP Reverb G2 with valve index controllers. So I'm using Steam VR. So yeah, the times is a bit of a challenge, but I like the index controllers a lot, and so whatever I can do to kind of get them to work with my HP Reverb, and I like the Reverb a lot. So so that's kind of what I'm doing here. So let me get myself a little bit better suited in the cockpit here. Move forward. Move forward. Move forward. Set altimeter.
Altimeter set.
Yeah, looks about right. Let me get some more tools in the cockpit. VR toolbar. So, look at E-bag. VR toolbar. So, basically I have to lean in and grab this side and pull him back. I haven't found a better way. So I lean in. Oh, this is going to play with me again. So for some reason, I'm right-clicking on the mouse. And for some reason, it just decides that it's not going to give that four-cross thing. So I have no idea why it does what it does. Right click, right click, right click, right click, right click. And maybe my headset's too close to it, I don't know. But it does seem frustrating would be a good word to use. Alrighty, so elevation here is 30. So looks like my altimeter set about right. That's still a little too far away from me. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. There we go. That should be better. Yeah, that'll work a lot better. So I'm trying to put it up over my head. And as you can see, it's not going well. It's the same thing. It's like, so I'm moving it up with my mouse, and then all of a sudden it decides it's going to go back down. I don't, the manipulation of your mouse in VR could use some work. We'll call that good enough. Tired of fighting with it. Let's see, VR toolbar. VR toolbar. And whenever this doesn't work, it's basically because I didn't stop talking. So I'm using voice attack, and if I continue to talk like I normally do on a stream, and I don't stop long enough, then it won't recognize the command. FR map, okay. VR toolbar. So same way, I want to bring him back a little bit more. And basically I'm running my desktop Microsoft Flight Simulator full screen. And hopefully that didn't break it. No. If I don't run it at full screen, then the these windows here, the fonts will be misportioned. They'll look pretty terrible. And also, like if I look over at the name over there for the airport, that'll be all the same way. The font will be all messed up on it. So if I look over here, I can see that I'm looking at my desktop, but my desktop is is my left and right eyes in my headset, because I'm running Microsoft Flight Simulator full screen, and that's the view that it's going to get. Here's the funnier part. So if I take my other touch controller and I basically point at that window, if I point at that window, then it actually shows the desktop. But if I don't, so now it goes, oh, I don't think I'm running full screen. Full screen? Interesting. Full screen? I'll be right back. I gotta check something. Something seems a little weird. Full screen? Yes. Okay. Let's see. So we got everything in here. I guess I'm about ready to start the airplane. Everything working here? Yep. Yep. Cool. Alrighty. Beacon light. Taxi light. Master battery.
Setting master battery.
Magneto start. Fuel valve. Magneto start. Oh, that works better. If I don't tell the fuel cutoff to be open, it's not going to work. Master alternator.
Adjusting alternator.
Avionics on.
Inverness ground Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf requesting pushback.
Stop pushback.
November 256 Bravo Golf pushback request accepted.
Rejected. Okay. Let's see now. All right. Yeah, I have pilot's ATC in the cockpit, and for some reason my first airport isn't getting recognized by it. So my first airport is EGEO, and for some reason pilot's ATC, I'm using the basically the same flight plan, but it's not. It's not displaying the first airport, so I'm not so sure why. So I wanted to kind of look at some things here. Distance, track. Man, that is small. Alrighty. Okay. Yeah, still okay. Alrighty, I think I'm about ready. Plane warmed up here yet? Yeah, not too bad. ATC? Same way, I'm going to pull him back a little bit. I want him up right about there. But closer, that'll work. Let's put him up here. And I'm going to make him a little bit bigger, a little bit longer, actually. Yeah, when, so this is a good example. So notice when I move the, sides of the window, notice how the fonts move. And then when you release, then they basically resize for the size of the window. So when I pull it down like this, that looks pretty weird. And but when I release it, it basically resizes these fonts. Starting with Sim Update 3, and that is probably too big. Starting with Sim Update 3, that no longer worked correctly. So I was kind of blocking a little too much of my view. So where are we going? What's my heading? Heading 219. So 220. Let me look. 219. So basically we're going to go to the south. So set 4. Set 4.
Inverness ground Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf request taxi for south departure.
Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf taxi to in hold short of runway 23 using taxiway Echo Cross runway 11. Contact tower on 118.405 when ready.
Set 1.
Taxi to and hold short runway 23 via taxiway Echo Cross runway 11 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Somebody else is here. Alrighty. Well, I guess I'm ready to go. We'll see how well this goes. Parking brake. Parking brake.
Adjusting parking brake.
I'm going to spin around here and make sure. Without hitting this guy. That's kind of weird the way they did that. Oop, don't want to hit him. So basically they put these ribbons basically on your tail. I was just checking to make sure. I wasn't sure. I seen the other Cessna kind of taxi by, and I wanted to make sure it wasn't his. So, alrighty. So, I'm using, for my controls, I'm using the, my, Satec, throttle, prop mixture for my throttle and my, mixture control. And, because we don't currently have, VR controllers in the sim, and when we do, then excuse me, when we do, then I'll be using my controllers. But right now, I use a combination of my controllers for over your Toolkit windows. I use the mouse for stuff in the cockpit. I use voice control for other things. So I use a bit of a combination. And then my hardware, I have a Satec trim wheel, and I have, like I said, my throttle prop mixture controller panel. So, what's going on? I hope you are doing well. Did you ever get your vaccine scheduled? Oh, that's cool. That is great. I'm trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be going here. I'm going to stop right here for a minute. I'd say hold short of runway 23. Oh. Man, that is slow. 24, 23. I still have ribbons, so guess I'm going by this one. Seems weird. I believe this is 2-3. I'm going to go up here, spin around a little bit. Yeah, this is 2-3. Set one. Set one.
Inverness Tower Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf ready for departure to the south at runway 23.
Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf cleared for takeoff runway 23 departure to the south approved.
Set one.
Cleared for takeoff runway 23 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Rotate. So we'll wait till we get about 500 feet off the ground here, and I gotta turn to a heading of 219.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf continue for south departure. I will contact you next when you leave my airspace.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf acknowledge last transmission.
It's that one. Set 1.
Inverness Tower Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf continue for south departure.
No, pull the power back a little bit here. Hello. So I'm kind of going in a westerly direction, so I'm going to go up to 2400, 2500, and
you are leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Put the 2500 and then level off there. So I'm still climbing at like 500 feet a minute, so. Move up. A little better view. Yeah, I had to add a new command to voice attack because
Did you copy?
It's that one. He's not happy with me at all today.
November 256 Bravo Golf frequency change.
Alrighty, we're coming up on 2500. And shove down on the oak just a little bit. Adjust the trim. Try to find, try to get level here. Make sure I'm still at around 2200 RPM. There we go. Looks like I'm reasonably on course. Still climbing a bit. Yeah, yesterday I was streaming and the flight was pretty long. It was an hour, excuse me, it was an hour and 45 minutes. I miscalculated how much fuel I needed. So I basically had found my two points of interest, and but at that point my low fuel indicator's on in the cockpit here. So I'm like, okay. Well, about the same time that happened, the my OBR Toolkit, can't remember. Yeah, OBR Toolkit. It kind of, I got a warning that says my VR controllers were low on battery. And then in the meanwhile, my girlfriend had called me and told me that if I could bring the phone over to her, because she left it here when she went to work. So all that stuff's kind of rolling through in the back of my head. So so I found the second point of interest. It was a castle. It's a really small castle, and it's kind of like on a peninsula, and in the water. There's mountains all over, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I finally find it, and then I go, I gotta find an airport. So I looked on the VFR map and I seen there was 2 airports, and I picked one. I had no idea on any of them what I was gonna find. So I go ahead and I pick the airport, so I get pointed in the direction of the airport. And the little thing that like shows up, the little balloon thing, it wasn't showing up at all. So I'm like, and it seems like I'm pretty close to the airport. So all of a sudden I have a thing that says pattern entrance. I'm like, I got a pattern entrance. I can't even see the airport. It's like, that's too funny. So I finally find the airport and kind of guessed at what the elevation needed to be. Probably a lot of the airports like around here, because of all the water, they're right around sea level. So I kind of guessed that's where it was. So I ended up landing on the runway. But when I was coming in, I was too fast. Actually, in part of the pattern, I was about 60, 65 knots. I was good. For some reason, I decided that I was way too high. So I started diving for the airport. I shouldn't have done it, but I did. And so I'm pretty close to the threshold, doing about 80 knots. And in the end, the runway is 1,900 feet long. I'm like, so I get it on the ground. Didn't do too bad. I didn't flare as well as I should have, but I did get it on the ground. And then I'm like, can I get this thing to stop in time? so actually I did. I probably had, I had at least 500 feet of runway left. I probably had more than that. And but it was just hilarious, just the kind of the chain of events that happened there, just nuts. But it's kind of, you know, because what I was thinking about doing is a lot of times these castles are like in a valley or something. I went, no, I can just do an off-field landing. And when I seen where the castle was, I went, that is out of the question. There's no place to land. It's just mountains, a peninsula, and a castle. It's like no options here. And the mountains were rugged. I mean, there was no meadows or any of that stuff in the around the mountains. It just didn't exist. So kind of funny. Pull the power back a little bit here. For some reason, it kind of creeped up. Yeah, because that one leg of flight yesterday was like over 100 miles. It was a long flight, and it was over mountains, a lot of mountains, with just about nothing. I mean, I didn't see any towns. I seen a lot of water, but I didn't see any towns or any of that kind of stuff. It was a little crazy. So with the last performance update, I will have to say that I'm seeing an improvement in performance. They didn't fix the broken things, but performance-wise, I mean, I'm pretty happy. I mean, like I said, I'm running a HP Reverb G2 with valve index controllers, so I'm running SteamVR, and everybody's saying, you don't do that. You're supposed to run Windows Mixed Reality, but that's not how I prefer to run my G2. So, and from what I'm seeing, that's working. I mean, there are people that have a hard time like getting 40 frames on a 2D screen, so that ain't bad. And visually, it looks okay. I don't see any problem. We got a pretty level. I think I'm going to jump outside and see what I can see. Cockpit. So that's really interesting. I won't say it's stutter-free. It's fairly smooth, though. So you have to ask yourself, if you're getting 45 frames, 45 frames, and every once in a while you get a stutter, what the heck's that all about? But it's actually, I mean, it looks nice. About what you would expect for being about 2,500 feet above the ground. Cockpit. So when I was out of the cockpit, I gained about 280 feet. So that isn't too bad. It's hard to tell that when you're outside, though. Yeah, so I bought this webcam 2 or 3 weeks ago, and took me a little while to get it all. I had to buy some mounting hardware to get it mounted kind of where I wanted the view to be. So so I got that, and then it was a matter of getting it mounted and then getting it adjusted so it's kind of so the picture is kind of showing what I wanted to show. So a couple of things I wanted to accomplish with that is one is so I can look at a VOD later and see how much I'm moving my head and how much that is being conveyed on the stream, just to try to understand that. The other thing I wanted to do was show off my yoke, because you can see when I come in for a landing, you can watch how far I pull this yoke back. I mean, I pull it back a lot, and so you get to see that also, you know. So it was a twofold purpose of bringing the webcam into the stream. The first stream I did was on with X-Plane, and I thought I had the window in the stream. I thought it was too big, so it was taking up more real estate of the screen than I wanted it to. So I made it probably half that size, and I used that yesterday at that size, and first time I had done it on Microsoft Flight Simulator, and so today's like the second day. So like we're gonna be running over some mountains. That's why a sectional chart would be so handy, where you could kind of like look on the chart and go, oh, if you're at 25, or actually I'm at 2800, you're gonna have to get higher if you're gonna get over these. So, but the tools we have, at least what I have currently, are not don't allow for that. So. And like, so I'm a VR streamer, and so the tools that I find necessary in my VR cockpit are different, and more than likely different than what just a VR user is. So things that I find that are missing or not right, or a VR user may not even use those tools. So I always try to kind of keep that in mind also, as to when I think the sim needs some improvement, other people may not, because of how I choose to use it. So I try to remember that. But it's what I do and how I choose to enjoy the sim, so. It's kind of rough through here, too. The temperature. Oh, way warmer today. Yesterday, where I was going over the mountains, it was, at one time it was 31. And I was seriously concerned with icing. It's like 45 today, so. Yeah, so the plane's like slowly climbing. I'm just letting it climb, because I am just not sure how it's through here. But when I think of the UK, I'm not so sure I thought of this. Not at all, really. This is different. This is different. I'm glad I picked the route I picked. It's pretty cool. I guess I always thought the UK is like quite flat. No. This is not flat. It's hard to judge how high this is, you know. I mean, I know where I am. I know I'm at 3,200 feet right now, and I'm not a lot above this. I'm No, not a lot. I'd be surprised if I'm 1,000 feet above the ground. I'd be surprised. I'm kind of looking at my map a little backwards, so I think I got, yeah. I was trying to correct it, and because of how the plane's displayed on the map, I had to reverse, so I'll go back to the, closer to the heading that I'm supposed to be following, and, hopefully it'll start looking better. But that mountain, not this near one, but that far one over there, that looks pretty high. Wow. This is crazy. I'd jump out of the plane again. This is pretty neat looking. Cockpit. This is neat. Wow. It's the same way. I mean, there's, you know, I'm looking for like civilization, and I legitimately don't see any. And I basically was pretty far north when I started this particular flight here, and then I'm kind of heading in like a southerly direction, so. Pretty neat though. Yeah, so every once in a while I try to like just stare at one place, just keep my head as still as I can. So if there is any stutters, they would be pretty obvious. And I don't, quite frankly, right now, I don't see them. No. No. Yeah, right now I'm like between 45 and, actually, it just ticked 50. But also you're not displaying really a lot of optics, so that probably has some bearing on it. Kind of funny watching the plane. Kind of must be a little bit of wind, updrafts, that kind of stuff. It's kind of funny watching the plane from this dimension, from this view. You know, just kind of watching it kind of dance a little bit, dance around a little bit. That's kind of funny. Alrighty, you better jump back in. Cockpit. Cockpit. A little bit off course. Not bad though. I don't know why, but the estimated time seems to be a bit whacked for an individual waypoint. I'm not sure what the deal is. The distance seems to be correct, but I've got an ETA here that's like 54 minutes with a distance of 28. And I'm running about 100 airspeed. It's kind of like, that's not even close to reality. I may be spoiled about my GPS in X-Plane. That's probably what it is. But it's kind of handy to know, well, not only your distance, but how many minutes, you know, is estimated that it's going to take you to get to your next waypoint. Especially like what's coming up, it's an airport, and I really planned on doing a touch and go there, so you kind of want to get all ready before that time, so. So the airport I'm going to is 23 feet. So needless to say, it's gotta not be in a mountain. Yeah, when I get about 10 miles out, I'll see if I can find it. Guy looming up in front of me. I'm getting a little just trying to let the plane climb up a little bit here. Just put a pitch climb in and let the airspeed slow down a little bit and make sure I clear it. Each time when I map one of these flights out, I don't give it a lot of thought. It's kind of, I picked two airports about the right distance apart, and hopefully finding some points of interest in between. And I normally try to find a middle airport, you know, where I can do a touch and go on. But as far as what the topography is of what I'm going to be flying over, I don't really give it any, pretty much any thought. Kind of funny. So I get to fly over some pretty neat stuff that wasn't really in the plan. But it's funny, like so these, and I guess the right term would be mountains. They aren't really, I think they're bigger than hills. But they just like come right up out of the water. I mean, with like no kind of beach or anything like that. They just kind of just rise up. And I do have a flight plan in my GPS. I don't fly. I use it as a guide, not as I don't have autopilot on. I'm basically controlling both the altitude and the heading. That's my job. So I enjoy flying an airplane and kind of making it do what you want it to do, and that's part of the enjoyment for me of flying. It was like the first time I soloed. So you just keep wondering when you're gonna solo, and all of a sudden and I was late. I was late in soloing, but all of a sudden the instructor gets out of the airplane, says, "It's yours." I gotta go like, okay. So, and you practice all this stuff, so you know it, and but when you do your first takeoff on your first solo, you kind of like look over to the right hand seat and go, this is all on you. There ain't nobody that's going to help you land this airplane. This is your job. so it's a bit of a sobering experience. I mean, because I can't even remember when I soloed how many hours I had. I'm thinking I was well past 40. You know, I'm thinking I was. I'll have to look in my logbook, but it was, talk about a reward, you know, of all the work you put in. That absolutely was a reward, no doubt. But then doing like cross countries and long cross countries, you know, I mean, you know, you just kind of expand that. Glad I got the experience. Being retired now, don't have the disposable income I did when I was working, so would be a little tough to do it again. So I get to enjoy as close an experience as I'm probably ever going to have, being in a real airplane, is using VR to kind of simulate the experience, and VR is pretty close. I'm quite happy with how well the experience goes. So. Okay. So it's saying the airport's 7 miles away. Well, if it's 21 feet, then I probably need to get lower. This is going to be kind of interesting where this airport shows up at. Pretty much on course. So I pull some power back here and get a little bit, actually a lot lower. So what kind of runway we got here? We got a 01 and a 19. Trying to remember what I took off from. I think it was 23, so it'll probably be 19. Would be 190. There it is. Set 3. Set 1. Set 1. Set 2.
Echo Golf Echo Oscar traffic says to November 256 Bravo Golf 5 miles northeast 2,000 feet inbound to land runway 1 nutter.
It took me a little bit to figure this out. So I'm in the direction I'm heading is the direction that I need to land. That's 19. So what I'm trying to look at is how much room do I have on the other side if I make a pattern there. That looks like that's a pretty good hill. That 19 may not be a good idea. What am I gonna do here? So if it's 21, I need to be above 1,000 feet. Let me look at what I'll come out here a ways. I'm going to do a 180. It's not looking really good to come in that way. But that's a pretty good hill there. I may have to change my mind. And come in from this way. It's kind of the problem. You're out here and there's no way to get any legitimate weather information, so I kind of know what's going on. So let me I'll spin around here. So this would be a left downwind. For runway 19. I suppose I can pull that off, but that is going to be a little bit entertaining. Set 5.
Echo Golf Echo Oscar traffic Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf is on downwind runway 19er.
Wow. This looks exciting. Okay. See if I can get away from this hill. And then get rid of some elevation. Not sure. Flaps down. Set 5.
Echo Golf Echo Oscar traffic Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf is on downwind runway 19er.
Flaps down. Flaps down. It's a heck of an approach, Bill. Flaps up. Flaps up. Flaps up. This will be exciting. Whoa. Climb, baby, climb. That went way better than I thought it was going to. Wow. It should be on a heading of 167. Set 9. Set 4. Set 0. Okay. We gotta go 40 miles now. That was an interesting pattern. I was coming in, I was diving for the runway, but once I got pretty sure I was going to get to that runway, then I basically pulled up on the nose to get rid of the airspeed. And then had to let the plane settle down. I knew that and that's just like crazy. So the plane has a displaced threshold, more than likely because of the hill, more than likely. So so that means that of the runway you have, you can't use all of it. You could use it to take off with, but you can't use it to land with. So. That was funny. That was fun. That really was. I remember I used to be scared to death of landing on an airport I had never landed on before. But anymore, nah, it's just a challenge. You know, figure it out. You know what you need to do. You know how you need to set up a pattern. And basically, once I picked the runway I was going to land on, I was committed. I was going to figure out how to make that happen. So I put the heading bug at 19 or 190. So I knew when I was on the when I was on the downwind, I knew I was, and I knew I was parallel to the runway. I didn't anticipate a hill right there. So all I did is just got up over the hill as much as I could. Not a lot, just little. And just made a pattern from there. And when I finally turned final, I was pretty lined up on it, so. Turned out okay. Turned out better than what I initially had thought. I'm gonna climb and I'm gonna pull power back a little bit. I don't need to be this high. I'm gonna deviate a little bit. I see these windmills over here, and something I've noticed that's what I'm seeing in Microsoft Flight Simulator is there's a lot of aliasing that I'm seeing in them that I don't see in X-Plane. It's kind of interesting why they act different, because they just kind of like flicker. Where in X-Plane I don't see that. I'm gonna jump out of the cockpit. Cockpit? Yeah, because it's really hard to even see the blades on them. Where in X-Plane it's dramatically different. I don't know why. I mean, it's just an observation. Not good or bad. It's just it just looks different. And I mean, I'm using the same headset, so you know it's actually hard to see the blade spinning. And in X-Plane, it's like, at least the windmills that I've seen around here, you know, I can see it there, but even the blade, the blade of that, you know, it's got aliasing on it. Huh. That is interesting. Cockpit. It's funny. What am I supposed to be on? 167. So 167 is close to 170. So that's 170. So where we're going next is called Mount Stuart House. No idea. Quite a few people out flying. Kind of much lower to the ground than I am. That one there's 248. I think one over there is 500 or something. Yep, 523. Yeah, so I normally start my stream at around 11 Eastern Daylight Time, so so at least when it was on Standard Time, it would be about 4 o'clock here. I'm not sure what it is now, but it would be in the later afternoon, so though, like you see, the sun is kind of getting lower in the sky, so you get the the sunlight, you know, coming across all of this and making the shadows and reflections and all that good stuff on the water and that kind of stuff. So I guess in a week or two we're going to have another world update. So if I remember correctly, it's going to be Spain. I'm not sure there's another country too. And should be kind of interesting. We've been quite a bit of Spain. So we've been in southern Spain and northern Spain. So since we were in Barcelona, oh, where else were we at? It's where we saw the bullfight at. I can't remember now. We were also in Seville. We were in Seville for the for Easter. Oh, that's one experience you'll never ever forget. They in Seville they have these big floats that they carry, that these men carry on their backs. These floats weigh like a couple of ton, and they carry them down through the streets, and narrow streets, and it is just a sight to see. I mean, I see it on TV, and you go, well, that's pretty cool. You see it for real, in real life. I mean, and the amount of people are just crowding to see this float go by this wherever you're at on the side of the road. Just incredible. The amount of people is breathtaking. I mean, just a lot of people. And so that was pretty cool. We ended up going down to, because we were in southern Spain, we ended up going to Gibraltar, and we took a bus trip there, and that was pretty neat. Walking across the road that goes across the runway to Gibraltar was that's another experience. Kind of like, there ain't many places you're gonna do this. This is one. Where it's got like the gates and stuff that come down to prevent the cars from going when the planes are landing. That's funny. Well, that was an experience. But seeing the bull flight was, glad I did it. I won't probably do another. That was another experience. I kind of felt I was back in the Roman times in the Colosseum. It had all the trappings of that. You're sitting on basically concrete or blocks. I'm not sure which it was. And it was sparse. So there's a guy that goes around, and I didn't catch what he was selling. But what they do is they rent cushions. So you rent a cushion for the event, and then you give them back. It was funny. Yeah, because my girlfriend she wanted to see a bullfight. So I'm like, are you serious? Yeah, I'm real serious. I'm like, oh, okay. So we were in Barcelona, and in Barcelona, no, that wasn't happening. They closed that bull ring, and they basically made it a mall. And so, God, I wish I remembered the town. Oh, that's sad. But we went to this other town, one of the bigger towns in Spain, and so we get into checked into the hotel, and look, and there's a sign that says there's going to be a bullfight. We got in there on a Sunday, and it says there's going to be a bullfight that day, and so I'm like, so I said to Sherry, I wanted to make sure that she was serious. So I says, are you serious? You want to go see a bullfight? She goes, yep. I went, okay. So, so I go down to the desk and I says, hey, see, there's a bullfight. I says, can we get tickets? He goes, yep. And he says, you need to understand. And I says, okay, what? And he says, the price on the ticket is not what you'll pay. And I went, okay, so there's go. I got that. We're going to go see a bullfight, and it really doesn't matter what you tell me the price is. I'm paying that price. So he goes down, and I assume he had to go a train station or two down to get the to find somebody that was selling the tickets. So he comes back with the tickets. I pay him, you know. So so we went ahead and we got a cab and took us to the bull ring, and that's where we spent our afternoon and evening is there. So it was an experience, no doubt. And I felt sorry for the bulls because they but then we after we had left there, it was about 2 weeks after that exactly the same bull, the bull ring, is the bulls got their revenge. Basically, they run out of matadors. There was the matadors, most of them were in the hospital. They didn't have enough to continue. They had to quit. It's like, oh, those are paybacks. So that was kind of funny. It's unique landscape here. So we're 13 miles away from my next destination. Like I said, it is Mount Stuart House. Like by the time I land, I'll have low fuel. It's like there's a lot of open water out in front of me. It's not what my map's telling me, but so it says this house is Like 9 miles away. That's kind of weird. Feels like I'm in like slow motion, but I got a ground speed of about 101, so it's not really slow, but it just acts that way. cockpit. It's quite a house. Wow. Cockpit. So, 22 miles away is the airport. Elevation is 38, so about 1,000 feet should be good. And that's where I am. So I'm trying to keep it level. Let my airspeed increase. I was doing pretty much slow flight going over that over the house. That was about 70 knots. About the same speed I am right now. So I shoved the nose down just a little bit. That should give me some more airspeed. And I'm running RPM just a little bit lower than I have been. Just have to see where I balance it out. I'm at 80 knots now, so. So, that's 1,500. We'll try to maintain 1,500 until we get within 10 miles of the airport, and actually even closer. But I don't think I need to run any more than 2,000 RPM. Yep, low fuel warning. Most of my flights end up this way. Is that 2? Is that 1? Is that 1? 2-7. So we're about 11 miles from the airport. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow, unless it was a raid. I'm not sure. Hello. Sounds good. We're just coming in for a landing. Thank you. I know I do too. We got low fuel and we're coming in for a landing, so. I'm trying to show it off. All I gotta do is find a runway. I'm flying the 172 analog in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so it's the premium edition. So I see where it says the runway is, but I'm not so sure. I've kind of found it says where the airport is, but I'm not so excuse me, I'm not so sure I found the runway yet. I think there it is. Yeah, that's about what I would think. I rolled in like this. Going the right way? Yep, we're going the right way. Okay. So I'll fly out here a little bit. Set 2.
Echo Golf Romeo Tango traffic Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf 17 miles southeast 1,300 feet inbound to land runway 27.
Yeah, so we're running the HP Reverb G2, and I'm using valve index controllers with it. So I'm not taking the easiest path here, especially in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I'm using Steam VR. So the elevation here is about 38 feet. So I'm about 1,200. So I'm about 1,000 above it. And I have my heading bug dialed into the runway heading. So as I make my turn and get parallel with the runway, then the heading bug will be in the bottom. HP Reverb G2. So looks a little snug to me. How long are you? 9,700. You're more than enough room. I landed on one yesterday that was 1,900 feet. I didn't know it until after I had landed. Okay. Set 5.
Echo Golf Romeo Tango traffic Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf is on downwind runway 27.
I was just verifying that my compass and the digital gyro were in reasonable agreement. So when I get over here, I'm kind of going at an angle away from the airport to give me a little more distance so that the final isn't going to show up so quickly. There's the end of the runway. Gonna pull back on the parallel a bit, pull up on the yoke a bit, get the airspeed to drop a bit, flaps down. So we're gonna go out to a 45-degree angle here. Probably good enough. Turn on base. Set 6. I got too much elevation.
Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf is on base runway 27.
Flaps down. So I gotta get rid of some elevation here. Am I on the wrong runway? No. Something was a little weird. Set 2.
Echo Golf Romeo Tango traffic Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf is on final runway 27 to land.
Sorry, I got a little confused in the pattern there. Flaps down. I am on the wrong runway. Go around. That is confusing. That's runway 30. There's a runway 30 and 27? Are you kidding me? Flaps up. Flaps up. What is going on? This wasn't part of the plan. I gotta get myself figured out here. I am just confused. That runway says 30. That one says 2-1. Okay, I know what's going on. Set 9. Set 4. Set 1.
Prestwick Tower, Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf is 1 miles northeast with Yankee to land.
Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf, Prestwick Tower. Enter left traffic runway 30. Altimeter 30.531244 at 17.
Fly left downwind runway 30 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
So I had the I had the wrong airport dialed in, so that's why nothing was like making any sense at all. When in doubt, go around. So I just got to figure out where I am here. And not get too high. Okay, this is a downwind for 30. Okay. Much more confident now. But also knew the right approach. When in doubt, things don't look right, go around. So now, runway 30 is parallel to me. I am too close. Because my directional gyro wasn't lining up. It wasn't looking right. Because I had a 27 dialed in. And I saw 30 and went, go around. Figure out what you're doing wrong. You're doing something wrong. Flaps down.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf cleared to land runway 30.
Okay.
244 at 17.
Cleared to land
Sounds
runway
a little
30
exciting.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Alrighty. So I'm going to turn here on turn on base. Flaps down. think I've been here before. Flaps down. So the airplane's trimmed for 60 knots or so. I am too high. So I'll pull back some power. Let the plane descend. Pull back a little more. Get over on the center line here. Okay, I'll do that. It's a little bit of a crosswind, so I had to kind of grab the airplane and then use the rudder to just get the airplane, to straighten the airplane up with the runway. And actually I did, ooh, that was scary. That was probably the better one I've done.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, contact ground on 118.15.
118.15 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Okay. Set 2.
Prestwick ground Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf, taxi to parking.
Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf, taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway November Romeo Mike cross runway 30 Tango Charlie.
Okay. Whoops.
Taxiing to general aviation parking via taxiway November Romeo Mike cross runway 30 Tango Charlie Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
So the runway direction was 30 or 300, and the winds were 24. So they were a quartering crosswind. So and it was at 17. So probably we'll say half of it. So 18, 8, 7. So I probably had a 7-knot crosswind that was trying to push me. So yeah, turn the plane into the wind, and then use the rudders to get the plane to realign with the runway. And in the end, it actually worked quite well. So it said cross runway, okay. Want to make sure. Cool. Follow the blue arrows. I think you really meant for me to turn here. That was kind of weird. Going the right way? Okay. Alrighty. So now I'm in a little bit more southern, well, not really southern yet. I'm heading in a southerly direction of the UK. was up north, and it was a little barren up there. A lot of pretty scenery. It was pretty mountainous and stuff. Way more mountainous than I really anticipated. Okay. Everything seems pretty smooth. I don't see like a whole lot of stutters. What are we doing here? 40? Yeah, quite frankly, that was one of the better ones that I've done. I know the technique, but a lot of times I don't have, because I'm running live weather right now, so whatever there was, that's what I was going to be given. So that's exactly what, and that's what I kind of saw is, that I was trying to be on the center line. And I was like, oh, okay. You know what you need to do, get there. So I went ahead and steered that way, and then with the pedals, brought the nose, you know, so you're at an angle with the runway, and then you use the pedals to bring the nose of the airplane aligned with the runway. So when you go to land, you're landing straight, not at an angle, because that could be bad. Not as bad as what I did 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I was going down the runway. I thought I was slowed down enough, but I wasn't. And I made a really sharp turn to the right. I tipped the plane over. Broke the prop. Priceless. Oh, whoops, sorry. Am I okay? Oh, the other way? All right. Okay, whoops, sorry. Okay. Parking brake. Parking brake.
Adjusting parking brake.
Alrighty. Well, this went great. Oh, so cool. Flaps up. I should have done
Setting
that.
cowl flaps up.
No, flaps up.
Raising cowl flaps.
Flaps up. Flaps up. Flaps up. Keep thinking I have cowl flaps and I don't. At least I don't think I do. Alrighty, I'm gonna pull the mixture back. Whoops, better not do that quite yet. Avionics off. Avionics off. I use voice command, and if I don't pause, and I give the command, it just ignores me. So, pull the mixture back. Okay. Continue. Awesome. Hello.
Fuel truck requested.
No, I don't want a fuel truck. God. Oh. Strobe lights. Taxi light. Beacon light. Strobes. I don't know what the command is for this one. Come on. Master battery.
Adjusting master battery.
Master alternator.
Setting alternator.
This one I have to do twice. Magnetos off. Magnetos off.
Setting magnetos to off.
So it goes from both to left and then back to both. Magnetos off.
Setting magnetos to off.
And now it actually works. A little crazy. Okay. I think we're all good. So what do we end up with? A little over 2 hours. So, but everything looked pretty good. So, okay, nice. yeah, and I recognize that a little bit late. Not bad though, but yeah. So I use the ailerons to get over close to the center line. But when I did that, then of course the airplane's going to be pointed at an angle with the runway. So then you give it rudder, you know, to basically pull the nose back around and to counter that, and so that when you touch your wheels down, you know, you're fairly well lined up with the runway. When did you get to see? Is my yoke in the frame correctly, where you could watch what I was doing when I was landing? How far back I was pulling the yoke? Could you see that? Oh, really? I'll have to look at the VOD. I mean, I know what I'm looking for, and so like right now the yoke's at rest. If I pull the yoke back, do you see that in my video? I have the yoke pulled all the way back. Really? Wow. I wonder why. I'll have to take a look, because I was seeing that, so I'm kind of curious why not. Huh. I'll have to look at the VOD and because that's kind of important to me. So in the No, I'm talking about my my webcam. How about now? So, if I pull that back, okay, all right. So, right now the yoke's all the way back. And that's what you're seeing? Okay, so that's 8 inches. This is a Fulcrum 1 yoke. This is a Fulcrum 1 yoke. So when I rotate it this way, that's 90 degrees. And when I pull the yoke back, that's 8 inches back. Back to my belly. And that's what a real airplane does. So this yoke is the same feel as a real airplane has. So when I'm coming in for a landing, I'm pulling back, like pulling back, pulling back, pulling back, pulling back, pulling back, stall horn, pulling back, land. So that's what I was trying to convey. That's why I added a webcam. I've only had a webcam for about 3 days. But it was important to me to kind of show, and then show the other thing is that my valve index controller, you can see that on the yoke. So the only thing I have my valve index controller on my hands, and I have my fingers free, so my fingers can grab a hold of this yoke and pull it all the way back. I'm using voice attack. And it works quite well. I'm quite happy with it. I modded it quite a bit, and to add some things, I started off with a configuration that a gentleman created, and then I modified it to my needs. So I added some things, some things that are important to me, being a streamer in VR. So. Because what I need in VR as a streamer is a little different than what a normal VR user would be using. So, but cool. Well, this was fun. I had a lot of fun today. So, any other questions? Oh, that's not good. Well, you can look at the VOD. You can look at the VOD. And, So that sounds good. Yeah, the wife is important. Yesterday I was streaming and my girlfriend called me and told me that she forgot her phone. I was in the middle of the mountains in UK and I couldn't find a place to land. so I did get her phone to her, but not quite as quickly as she probably wanted me to. So fully understand. Okie dokie. I think I'll call it a day then. When I get done with the stream, it automatically creates a VOD, so you can look at it. You can look at it then on Twitch. Okay. In the same way, you can look at my previous VODs on Twitch too, and most of my VODs, I end up within a day or two, I push them over to YouTube. So they're on Twitch for a while, and then most of them unless they're like really bad, then I'll put them over on YouTube. So, okie doke. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. I have a chat window because I enjoy chat. Don't always get to have people join me, but you don't know how much it means to me to actually have people in chat that want to interact. And I will, other than on final, I generally will ignore chat. But if I'm in a pattern, nah, I'll talk to chat. I'm comfortable enough. And you saw there when I was coming in to land and I did the go around, it was kind of like, no, things aren't good. Things aren't good. We're going to do a go around and figure out what's wrong, because I knew it was wrong. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I've had people that I'm trying my best to make. There's no way that I can replicate the VR experience I have in my headset while people are watching on a stream. Can't do it. It's too immersive. But what I am trying to do is make it as acceptable as I can. Because I fully understand that whenever I move my head, your view on a 2D screen is moving. And I can't stop myself from moving my head. And so that's also why I added the webcam, is I can watch myself in my headset and to see what the bot is saying. So, alrighty, I'm going to call it a day, and thank you both for stopping by. It's been great. I very much enjoy it. Thank you so much. You have a great day. And I'm trying to almost every day at like 11 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. Almost all days I'll be streaming. So, sounds good. Bye-bye. Full screen?